Hi guys, welcome back to Prospect Channels TV. Thank you for always coming out here. May God bless you all. This one another ogbonge update we don't bring on give una concerning Nnamdi Kanu. My people, Nigerians are going spiritual. They say Nnamdi Kanu must be released. You will be shocked to hear people who are speaking for Nnamdi Kanu, people who you will never thought would do that. Let me quickly drop this video so we go watch them together. I will be right back.
If anybody tells you that IPOB is the one killing people in Oluzon, it is not correct. Wicked politicians are sponsoring the killings in Olu. Last week in Oberuru, the APC ward chairman was killed in his house. The APC secretary was killed in his house. APC woman leader was killed in his house. I have cross-checked since the inception of this banditry. Not one PDP man has died.
Buhari set up protocols in which those who work with the state are in collusion with these terrorists, and representing our security services, I believe, have been Afghanistan. It will be one Fulani after the other, and as you see, the Fulanis killing people across the country. Why? They want to appropriate the country.
Be careful of the use of words.
Allow me to use my words, please.
Yeah, I'm saying this is a national
television. Be very careful.
And there are good people in every
I am speaking
tribe.
about national security. Hold on, please. My brother, this is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. That's a war
pretending. On. I'm only saying there are
a lot of you journalists are part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. There's a war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? There's a war on. People are being killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Allow us to speak the truth so that people will know what's going on. There's a war on. People in the Benue cannot go to farm. People in Plateau cannot stay in their houses. People in Taraba can't. Everywhere there's a war. And you're telling me that we should keep quiet? No, there's a problem.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is Thursday, 22nd day of May, 2025. This is the late hour of the day, so a lot of people might see this video on Friday being 23rd. But I think the most important thing is the information you are going to get anytime you see this video. Now, I think the secret war has been intensified. The secret war is going on, and I'm going to explain to you in details about the secret war is going on as Nnamdi Kanu eyes freedom. The secret war that is going on, especially in the southern part of the country, is so important and is so crucial. Now, for some security reasons, the information I have here, I'm not going to mention the name of villages. A lot of people have resolved to self-help. There is no doubt about that because of the secret war that is going on in Nigeria. We are at war. Don't let anybody to deceive you. What you are hearing in Benue State, in Plateau State, if not people from the southern Nigeria preventing it, it would have been worse in their territory. Now, a community people, I don't know what they did, but 21 terrorists mysteriously died in the bush. 21 terrorists mysteriously died in the bush. Welfare these days is beyond gun. It's beyond shoot me, I shoot you. They have pushed a lot of people to go beyond the battle of gun. So these 21 persons, according to this information that allegedly died in the bush, the story ends there. Okay? Now, it's a lesson to people who think that they own the land, that they can invade any community and come and kill the people and go away with it. That period is coming to an end. In another community, these people, the kidnappers, the sincere of people, they demanded that they should bring food for them. And normally, these people, they ask you to test the food most of the time you bring it. I don't know what transpired, how these people did it, but they poisoned them. And about 7 persons died the following day after eating the food. As I said before, the time where you use only, bullets to fight war is already past. So if you think that you can go to people's villages to do whatever you like, I think the time is coming to an end because the people are beginning to rise to the occasions. They have seen that no any other person that will save you. the only person that rose against all these things right from time was Nnamdi Kanu. And that is the reason why they put him where he is today. And that will bring me quickly to just touch a few things that transpired in court today. A lot of you must have, gotten the information about what transpired. But you see these 3 videos we're about to watch. One is about Hope Uzodinma telling them that it's not IPOB that are responsible for the death in my state. Hope Uzodinma have said this more than 3 times, and I have the videos. And this one they played in court is crucial because the DSS mass witness was telling them that Hope Uzodinma said it was IPOB that killed someone that died. But he lied against Hope Uzodinma, and this is what Hope Uzodinma said.
If anybody tells you that IPOB is the one killing people in Oluzon, it is not correct. Wicked politicians are sponsoring the killings in Olo. Last week in Oberuru, the APC ward chairman was killed in his house. The APC secretary was killed in his house. APC woman leader was killed in his house. I have cross-checked since the inception of this banditry. Not one PDP man has died.
Now, in another video, if you have been following me, you must have seen this video more than 10 times. Before all this issue of court case, arrived, I have been, publishing all these videos of T.Y. Danjuma, of all these people, where they are calling on people to bear arms to defend themselves because the armed forces are not neutral.
Forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
There are a lot of things going on, okay? And another video again about the DSS director. I also published the video, you must have seen it on my channel as well, where he's calling for people to carry arms to defend themselves. And he cited a community that gather arms to defend themselves and kill Boko Haram. And that was the counter, question that was put against the DSS witness. Is it not the same thing Nnamdi Kanu was saying? So why were you people choosing who to try and who not to try?
Is that we should not make this another talk show. And that's why this is my intervention. That security starts from you. There's nothing that is new. 1870 something, I can't remember. The French Revolution, in the street of Paris, they were beheading people. We've had hijack of plane. We'll forget quickly. We've had the wet here syndrome. We had so many. There's some Matasini and whatever. There will always be security problem. So when I hear people say this is security in Nigeria, as long as human beings exist, there will be security problem. The issue is the response. We have to take that mentality away. What is the security agencies doing? Who, apart from a tree, knows that they want to come and cut him and remain standing? Only a tree. We have to get the communities to rise and defend themselves first. And the time to start it is now. When you move out from here, I do that every day. I come from a village in Ijebu land, Ogun State, and I talk to my people. I know the level of armament they are entitled to. I know how they organize themselves in quarters. We have 4 quarters. I am using my expertise to guide them. You cannot wait for the military to come and do everything.
Nuhu Ribadu is the National Security Advisor, and he's making one of the greatest mistakes. Because you cannot cherry-pick someone who asks for self-defense. You people keep him in detention, continue. You inherited the trial, and you think that you can continue to keep the person because the person is standing against people who are invading people's home and so on and so forth. So these 3 videos you just watch, I think they passed a lot of message, messages to people that look at. This is not what it is. Nnamdi Kanu, they told you lies about him before. A lot of people don't even know what Nnamdi Kanu stands for, because the Nigerian media project Nnamdi Kanu to be whom he is not. That is the problem we are having there. So that is apart. Let us focus on another issue.
I know there's a failure of our security architecture to actually tailor and prepare what I would call an intelligent response to the current insecurity across the country. They might end up having us, resort to self-help. I know I have seen in several communities, people are now designing their own self-help strategies. And I even read some yesterday advising people, whatever you do, don't tell anybody, because when you speak, because of members of the state probably in complicit, collusion, as General Danjuma stated. It's not everybody that works for the Nigerian state that are today in collusion. But because of Buhari's set of protocols in which those who work with the state are in collusion with these terrorists, and President Tinubu had not been able to weed those people out, it becomes a problem trusting them. And that's why I can understand his sudden attempt to now resort to a new body called the Forest Guards. They may not be infiltrated, and that they may be able to build something that has not yet been Afghanistan. Our security services, I believe, have been Afghanistan. The Afghanistanization of the security services simply means the infiltration of our security services of those evil people, the terrorists, just the same way Buhari ran what he called a de-radicalization policy, which now got him to infuse members of the terrorist movement into the security services, primarily the army. And what did you have? Suddenly, these people infused and are the ones providing intelligence to those who didn't get converted, through the radicalization problem. So we have a problem. There is not a proper stating of priorities of state by departments of state, in this case, the Department of State Security. What they are going after is not the proper thing to do. They should be gathering intelligence to tell the army or the police who to go and hold or to take away from the space so that we can have peace. They're not doing that. The crisis is still sustaining all across the country. People are being killed, and these militias are killing people everywhere, and nobody's doing a thing. So for me, the state is still very much asleep and sleeping right on the wheels. It is wrong to have allowed Atiku to succeed Buhari. It will be one Fulani after the other, and as you see, the Fulanis killing people across the country. Why? They want to appropriate the country.
Be careful of the use of words. When you generalize.
Now allow me to use my words, please.
Yeah, I'm saying this is a national
television. You might be very careful.
And there are good people in every tribe.
I am speaking about national security. Hold on, please. My brother, this is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. There's a war on.
I'm only saying there are good people in every tribe. A lot of you journalists are part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. There's a war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? There's a war on. People are being killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Allow us to speak the truth so that people will know what's going on. There's a war on. People in the Benue cannot go to farm. People in Plateau cannot stay in their houses. People in Taraba can't. Everywhere there's a war, and you're telling me that we should keep quiet? No, there's a problem. So those who are responsible for the war simply want to turn Nigeria into a settler colonial entity, and that's what's going on. You don't see that. You're seeing the politics. Forget about the politics. There is a real problem in the country. People are not sleeping at night. People, even in daytime, our farmers cannot go to farms. We now have food security problems. Why? The Fulani war across West Africa has finally bettered in Nigeria, and you don't want me to talk about it. Why? Who are you afraid of? Who will hear it and we will die? This is the problem. The country has gone wrong because a lot of you keep quiet. I'm aware of this. So please, when we have a problem like this serious national security issue, we must speak to it and not pretend it doesn't exist. It does exist. There's nothing wrong with implosion.
Implosions are historically normal in human situations. When you put too many things inside one container, they could implode when that container can no more bear them. What you will ask yourself is, after the implosion, where do we go to? Are you afraid of implosion? No, don't be afraid of implosion. In most societies, without an implosion, nobody knocks the gong and calls people to come and talk and find out solutions to the crisis that undermine the community. Nigeria currently is at a crossroad. There is a war on, an asymmetrical war, and the government seems very weak about it. People are panicking and people are running, thinking that Tinubu can help. And that's the problem. If other politicians cannot, well, there's nothing wrong for the sake of security thinking that Tinubu will be different from either Atiku or Buhari. I see nothing different in Atiku and Buhari. They're the same 10 and 10 pence. So Tinubu is the only one that's different from them. If you're telling me now, and I'll talk about security situation, that's the problem. The country is in dire straits, and the security architecture looks like it has been Afghanistan. It is right now ineffective, and that's why you're hearing people talk about state police and protocols that will allow the people to be able to protect themselves. We are moving towards that. If the government cannot help, people will resort to self-help. My brother, the security situation is serious and it is real. And this is the problem. We're not talking about it. We're pretentiously talking about it on the political front. There are underplays that are driving this problem in. One, the military are not united. Two, because of under the Buhari administration, there was a large-scale Afghanization of the Nigerian security services. I mean, Afghanization, you understand what it is. It's the penetration by political interests into the security services to actually plant soldiers who will do things in line with their own security intentions. And if they want to take over the country, of course, the easiest way is to put their militias into our army, or rather to have our army give up weapons and give up bases easy to their militias. And that's what's going on. So people are actually, yes, that's why you're seeing some people try to run to Tinubu. But sometimes they might also stop running to Tinubu and start organizing for themselves. I foresee people resorting to self-help. You see the army base. Ask yourself, I've said it on this program before, Tinubu might have taken over power, but is he in charge security-wise all over the country? I don't think so. There are a lot of infiltrations perpetrated during the Buhari period that Tinubu has not yet been able to undo. You now see a lot of those taken into security services, people who are said to be the radicalized elements from Boko Haram. It is those radicalized elements that are now showing the Boko Haram and all these Islamist fronts, militias, what to do in the country. At the end of the Civil War, Nigeria was 70% Christian, 30% Muslim. But the Muslims have been fighting to try to turn everything upside down. So, and their Muslim politicians are also doing the same thing. So I tell you, there is an Afghanization of Nigerian security services underway. And that's what I can tell you. I don't believe in all those things that are being done. If it is here, people agitating for peacefully, agitating for different standards, you will see the army come to the east and start arresting people, start arresting Sunday Igboho. How come the army are not strong up north? Don't forget, these same security strategies were employed to undermine President Goodluck Jonathan. And now that the same set of people are not happy with President Tinubu, they are now employing the same strategy to suddenly undermine President Tinubu. That's why I'm telling you that what you're having now is an Afghanization of the security services. So that has been known for a very long time, and I have been very strong on this. Speaking about security, where most people were very afraid to even allow me speak, what happened today is all over the place. What I've been saying for the past 12 years, is it not all over the place? And these were products of hard research findings. I traveled to Mali, I went to Burkina Faso, I went to Cote d'Ivoire, I went to Ghana, I traveled to Yemen, the homeland of the Fulani, and I found out these problems. I presented it to Nigerians and I told them there is a war on. to take land from Nigerians, take the land, take over the land, administer over the land, colonize the people who own the land. And that's what I tell you. It is the new version of settler colonialism taking place in Nigeria. Even helped by Buhari administration. Buhari told people to come into the country with guns. How could you let people come through your border with guns? Those people with guns are now using those guns to colonize and arrest and kidnap Nigeria.
All right. AIG, there are not a few who believe that the pace at which the Interpol International and Interpol Nigeria are working is quite interesting. They point to the fact that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed group, IPOB, it didn't take long for them to grab him from the same Kenya and get him down to Nigeria, and he's facing justice now. That's why is this like a case of we are following process, diplomatic channels, etc., etc.
Believe you me, I want to tell you I don't know what you are talking about. All I know...
You seems not to know exactly what we are talking about here.
No. You are bringing an issue that Interpol is not aware of. You know, let me define the role of Interpol so that you can understand. Interpol is an international police organization that assists law enforcement agencies within the 196 countries to look for a fugitive that runs or is hiding. And if you look at all the other fugitives that are brought to face justice in Nigeria, they have the link, those who are involved with Interpol. So I don't know I don't want to talk about issue of Kanu, who brought him back to Nigeria. I'm not aware how he was brought back to Nigeria or how he came into Nigeria. Interpol is not aware. We stated this long time ago, and we made it categorically clear. So it's not a question. There are what we call police-to-police relationships, international police cooperation. Another police, it does not necessarily bring Interpol. If one police and another exchange, a suspect is running from them, they can have an international police cooperation that out of the scope of Interpol. But however, if a notice is given to an individual, like blue notices, when the inmates in Kuje prison escaped, we did a biometric capture of those suspects, and we shared it with international communities. We shared it with our law enforcement agencies.
The elephant in the room, Nnamdi Kanu, is continued incarceration, is still facing trial. What is the prevailing? Let me ask you your own thoughts, because you've had very strong views about this in the past. But as of today, what are your thoughts concerning this? Is it possible to still find a political solution?
Let me not waste your time. I'm not concerned about the processes going on in court. Nnamdi Kanu did nothing. That is contemporary. Other people did in different zones, but are working freely. What did Nnamdi Kanu do? Did he pick gun and shoot anybody? Did he? That was why I said, if you cannot release him and can bring him to Eagle Square, let's use his body for barbecue and close this matter. I said it in this channel. Let's use it. Let those who hate him come and take a pinch of his meat so that we close the matter. It was because of the ancient hatred against the people from the Southeast that Buhari took him and kept him there. I have said it without regrets. What did he do? And that's why we are pleading with him. It's not Tinubu that kept him there. That I'm sure he must be under pressure. Even from some Southeast leaders and politicians, they had a hand in it. They had a hand in it. Because they're afraid of Nnamdi. I told President Buhari publicly that there is no politician living or dead that has the full ownership of Nnamdi Kanu without spending a couple. Even the time of Chief Awolowo Azikiwe, they will pay for transport, they pay for movement. Kanu pays for nothing. I say so. I say, the man you should do business with is Nnamdi Kanu. Gogo, you'll find me and say so. Of course, because of that ancient hatred, he didn't want to listen to it. I'm not interested in whatever trial they're going against Nnamdi Kanu because he committed no offense.
Even the presentation of Golak's death certificate that was.
That is
muted.
fake. They want to link it. What has that got to do with Nnamdi Kanu? They want to. You see that what I'm saying? It's a lot of politicians and businessmen in Igbo land are working against Nnamdi Kanu's release. Why? Because when Nnamdi Kanu comes out, he will be a determinant factor on who gets what and how in the entire Igbo race. Igbos are fanatical and sentimental on certain issues. They say Igbo love money, just give them money. It's not true. I've said it many years ago. Igbos don't love money. It is money that loves the Igbos. Because the Igbos know what to do with money and turn it around. Let people stop saying that Igbos love money. It is money that is in love with Igbos. Because when you give them 10 naira, they make it 100 naira tomorrow. Because money likes to be multiplied. So it's not a question of throwing money there. You must. I don't know why Nigeria has refused to study the spirit and the thing inside the Igbo man that will make you catch him really easily and he will follow you.
Okay.
Nnamdi Kanu, just a minute. Nnamdi Kanu, let them try it from here to high heavens. I'm not interested.
So what you're asking the executive is to have the political will.
The president should have the political will to release Nnamdi Kanu. Let any judgment come out of the court processes. It will not excite me, whether for or against.
All right, guys, thank you for staying to the end of this video. So what's your take on this? Please, let's hear from you. Kindly drop your comments below the comment section, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye for now.